And that's what we believe this advisory council does.
We have to be always vigilant and always on guard to continue to upgrade the quality of service that the provider firms are supplying. I think that is a never-ending effort.
I think a lot of people, when they hear about prepaid legal, they think maybe it's too good to be true. They read articles in the Wall Street Journal saying lawyers are now charging $1,000 an hour, and they have a hard time believing that for not very much money a month they can have access to really good lawyers. Doesn't seem to make sense. There must be some sort of catch. But there really is no catch. You've got just an army of great lawyers out there who aren't totally driven by the bottom line. They're driven by a desire to solve problems for average middle-class people. So I think the attorneys general being involved helps show people that it's a legitimate operation. It gives credibility to the organization. And they know that we wouldn't be involved unless we believed in what Prepaid was doing and that it was a good company.
We do provide a sounding board to try out new ideas that officers in the company may have, and we react to them and make recommendations as to how those particular issues ought to be handled.
The revolutionary practice of joining customer service with the practice of law was not developed overnight, and it's something that is not taught in law school. But how do you persuade a lawyer to provide service, advice, or even lift a finger for a fee the average person can afford? It's not easy. It also takes time. Mike Turpin is a provider lawyer for Prepaid Legal Services Incorporated. I asked Mike and other lawyers in the prepaid legal system to help us understand how someone accesses the service, and more importantly, to answer the question of why they are willing to provide top-notch service to a person who may only pay as little as $26 a month.
The network of provider attorneys across North America are the best law firms available anytime, anywhere for anybody. I'm very proud of the network of provider attorneys that we've put together for Prepaid Legal. My own law firm, I believe it's the best law firm in the state of Oklahoma. And I think all the provider attorneys feel that way about their state and their provinces, that they're the best law firm in their state, in their province. They're quality-conscious, service-oriented law firms. They're user-friendly. They're law firms that have learned to call the member back, help the member with preventive law, help them stay out of trouble before they ever get into trouble. The idea of Prepaid Legal Services making our kinds of law firms, I think very unique and good law firms, available to all the people across this country at a very reasonable rate per month, is the best thing that's happened to the delivery of legal services, both criminal and civil, in the history of the justice system.
The thing I like most about being a provider attorney is helping people. When I became a lawyer, my ambition was to be in a field where I would help people. And prepaid legal services beats that tremendously. Interacting with people, helping people when people have a particular legal need that I can be a benefit for them. I really enjoy the opportunity to be able to make a difference in their life, to provide them the legal representation that they need.
I'm thankful for being associated with Prepaid and being a prepaid lawyer because of the gratification that we get from being able to assist people who wouldn't otherwise have access to attorneys.
Having access to legal counsel for ordinary events is nice, but what if the unexpected occurs? A good legal plan, just like a good health plan or auto coverage, will not only provide access to services, but access to services at an emergency level when necessary.
Harlan, I know there's another product that you're really proud of. It's called Legal Shield. Tell me what that's all about.
We came up with a concept or an idea to give people access to lawyers 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, wherever they might be in emergency situation. Now, we're not talking about calling up and getting your will done at 3 o'clock in the morning. We can do that for you tomorrow. But if you're pulled over on the side of the road, and we know police officers, you know, most of them, they're out there to help us and not to hurt us. But if we're out there being detained and we're being asked questions and maybe the possibility of being taken to jail, right then, we'd like to be able to talk to a lawyer. So we came up with a service to where you can do exactly that. Anywhere you are, anytime, we have a 1-800 number that you can call and be put in touch with a lawyer in whatever state you're in at whatever time that you need that lawyer. And we just have so many success stories, how that has helped people by being able to talk to a lawyer at 3 o'clock in the morning. We just think that's one of the greatest benefits that we offer.
This particular time we were on our way out of town, going on a business trip, and no sooner than we got to the airport, got a phone call 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, a hysterical teenager shouting that the security was following her out of the mall, and that they came up upon her, snatched her purse, took her purse, dumped it, and accused her of shoplifting. And she had nothing in her purse. She was hysterical and frantic, humiliated in front of everybody in the mall. So she calls me and she's yelling and hollering. I'm telling her to calm down. There's nothing I can do. Call your attorneys. And that she had her legal shield in her pocket. And so at that time, we finally got her to call the attorneys. She called them. They calmed her down. They talked to the security at the mall, and they walked her to her car. And they were very apologetic.
I got a call one night about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. A young man, he was about 23, 24 years old. He'd been stopped by the police because he had neon running lights on his car. So I took the call and I ran down the hall, so I didn't wake up my wife. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. And he said, look, they've stopped me for neon running lights. They want to search my car. And I said to him, okay, have you been drinking? He said, no. I said, are there drugs in the car? He said, no. But he was very nervous, and as an attorney, the first thing you don't want to do is consent to a warrantless search, to a search without probable cause. So I said to him, okay, let me talk to the officer. So he hands the phone to the officer, and I said, officer, you've stopped this young man for neon running lights. He goes, yeah. I said, that's illegal? He said, where did you go to law school? You don't know that? I said, look, when I went to law school, they taught me about important things like contracts and murder. I said, now you tell me the probable cause for searching this car, for giving him a field sobriety test, for giving him the breathalyzer. And he said, look, I have the right to do this. I stopped him. I suspect it. I said, then good. Then you tell me how you're going to respond to the civil rights case we're going to file after the warrantless search. This is a violation of his constitutional rights. I said, now give me back the phone and let me instruct my client. So I got the kid on the phone. He was a young man. He was terrified. I said to him, look, I've already told the officer I'm not consenting to the search, but you have to be the one to tell him that you're not going to consent to the search, you're not going to take a field sobriety test, and you're not going to take the breathalyzer. At that point, the young man sounded kind of distracted, and I heard him say, thank you. And I said, what's going on? He said, the cop just gave me back my license. He's walking back to his squad car.
Identity theft is everywhere we turn. It's the fastest growing white-collar crime in America. On the news, the radio, in the papers, credit card companies have even made entertaining commercials about it. But for someone who's experienced it, it's not a laughing matter. Chances are you've been affected by identity theft, or you know someone who has. What the commercials and ads don't tell us is how identity theft is not only about credit card numbers and online shopping. That's only the tip of the iceberg.
One of the biggest problems today for consumers across North America is the concept that's hard to understand. It's a crime called identity theft, where someone steals your identity. And it's hard to understand until you become a victim of it, and then you understand that your life is literally turned upside down. Prepaid Legal offers a very unique coverage. And speaking as a former Attorney General, I know that Prepaid Legal can do for its members what the Attorney Generals of America would like to do, but cannot do because they don't have the staff to help these individuals one by one by one by one. And that's where the coverage that Prepaid Legal offers in identity theft is unique and special, and I think worth having.
The fact is, we're all at risk. It's easy to steal your personal information. The only thing you can do is take action to reduce your risk and prepare for the possibilities. The same company that pioneered the legal service plan in the United States also makes available to the public the Identity Theft Shield. The reality is, life's not fair. Not everyone is honest, and bad things happen. But when they do, don't face them alone. Whether it's a simple conflict with an auto repair, a faulty product, or helping you deal with the tragedy of identity theft. With a legal service plan and identity theft coverage, you'll have power, confidence, and peace of mind. Access to the system is the key. That's why wealthy people are willing to pay a lot of money to have it. Justice for all can and should be a reality for all. Prepaid Legal Services Life Events Legal Plan can help that happen at a price you can afford for you and your family.